Hey y'all, hey. What is up, y'all? It's your girl Vanna from the Hood Talks Podcast, and we are here for another episode of The Hood Heals. And we talking all about fatherhood and mental health. I am joined with my co-host here, my girl Shante Love.
Hey.
Hey girl, hey. So real quick, y'all, I want to do a quick announcement because as you know, we are in season 4. The season has been kicking off since February this year, and we're ending it in July. But I do want to take heed that we had a lot of changes this year that I have been trying to adjust to. One being the new co-host.
You had to adjust to me?
No, I didn't have to adjust to you.
Oh, just the idea and the flow of working as a team. I was like, wait a minute, I'm gonna adjust.
No, you're an asset to this space. You have been a very much asset to this space. The adjustment has been we've been taking our podcast live and in person. So that has been an adjustment. And so I know that this year it seemed like we only had a few episodes, but really in transparency, it has been more than that. We've been doing it live and in person, some of our episodes, and I have been struggling with audio. Okay, capturing quality audio so that we can put it on the podcast platforms for those who listen to us. And shout out to all the people that listen. Like, people think we just have people that watch us on social media or people that come to the events. But honestly, we have a great following on the podcast platform. So shout out to all those on Spotify, Apple, Google. We appreciate you all for tuning in and being loyal to this space. So I just wanted to mention that is why it may seem like we only did a few episodes this season and it's only been me and Shante, but we are growing and changing. And I'm excited for the growth, but just wanted to acknowledge that. And if you are in St. Louis and you want to tap into an in-person event, we have June and July coming up. Definitely make sure you following us on social media.
Yeah, definitely show up. Shout out to Vanna holding that space in person for people to feel more connected in community in these topics that you're hitting on. So it's an adjustment, but it's a dang on good one that's been working. So yeah, shout out to you for having that vision and switching it up like that. And I ain't just saying it just because you brought me on as co-host.
I know you not. I know you not. You get the real deal because it's really been accepted. Like, our feedback and views, our feedback and things like that have been really like, it's dope. It's been dope. People have really enjoyed the in-person events, and it's a vibe. Like, I really
is.
Really trying to set a vibe. So yeah. Shout out to us, the Hood Talks Podcast. We making major moves. 20, y'all. We in this. All right, so that's all done. We want to get into this great conversation, and I'm going to let these great men, shout out to Black men, giving space.
Nothing like it.
Yes, we're going to let them introduce themselves. I'm going to start with you, DeAndre, and then Theo, please feel free to follow up.
Well, let me go ahead and get it started then. My name is DeAndre L. Miller Sr. I am a full spectrum doula, and I am a community health worker. I'm a full-time father. I'm a full-time husband. I'm all over the place. So, hey, I love what I do. I'll give you a little bit of me. So go ahead and pass it on. Go ahead, bro.
My name is excuse me. My name is Theodore Branch. Husband, father, son, uncle, brother, cousin, big bro, unc, everything in between. Yeah. that's who I am these days. You know what I mean? That's who I am these days. So
yeah. Hey, that unk hit hard though. When you hit that certain age, you become unk. I can see your hesitant when you said that too. He's like,
so I go to the gas station, right? And they be like, "Yo, what up, unk?" And I'm looking around like, who they talking to? What they say? I'm still outside. What you mean? Oh, what you mean? No, hey, I embrace it though because I don't want to get too dark, but there's a lot of people who aren't able to embrace those ages these days. So
I'm about to say acknowledge that. I agree with you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a blessing to still be here. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. I think we say getting old as a bad thing, but I think it is, like you said, a lot of people right now in this world are literally, we're losing a lot of them and young. So seeing as we grace those older ages, it is a blessing.
It is. I've been 34 for 3 years now. It's fantastic.
Did you say for 3 years?
For 3 years, yeah. It's fantastic. It brings wisdom, with age. So
yes,
I wish I would have got called. They called me OG. I'm like,
that's a shot to the chest.
They were like, all right, OG. I'm like, OG. I had to look at
OGs now. Look at y'all.
Hey, these grays be telling the truth, man. They be telling the truth all the time. So I let it.
It's the grays and the shoes. Y'all gotta evaluate what shoes y'all got on.
Hey, look, I swear I was looking at my chin like I got 6 now. I'm not showing grays.
Oh, I've been here for a minute. 41 now. So when I was like 36, 35, 36, they start coming in. So hey, I embrace it.
So I see y'all just like black women. Y'all embrace it, but we still checking. But I want to welcome you both to the episode. Before we get into conversation, we always do some kind of games just to kind of, because the topics can get heavy and stuff like that. And we want to make sure that this space is welcoming and also comfortable and fun. Because life be lifing, but we have to choose the happiness that we have. So we usually do about 2 things. So the first one is, who would you hug, high five, or hang out with? It's a safer version of the, marry, kiss, and it's a safer version for internet purposes for that. And that can be anybody, whether it's yourself, family members, or celebrities. Since you guys haven't played before, I'm gonna ask Vanna to do hers. Who would you hang out, high five, and hug?
Lucky I was sitting here like, yeah, Shante, take this off.
You thought I was gonna do mine first? Nah.
You got me. So who I'm hugging, I am going to hug Mr. Demetrius Bailey. Shout out to, I know people like, but I like seeing it. My baby daddy. I like seeing it. Shout out to him. He is a great father, as Father's Day is approaching us. And I think it is a hard conversation for a lot of men. We don't give enough space to Black men to talk about their journey. So I just want to give him a hug because I feel like he is doing fabulous in spite of his circumstances in life as a father. And my girls adore him. And so I just appreciate him and being able to do this parenting journey with him. Who I'm high-fiving? I am high-fiving, who am I high-fiving? Because high-fiving is like kudos to you all. I would say I'm high-fiving you guys for joining us and being brave to come out and have this conversation with us. We appreciate you. I think it is super dope every time we get to talk to Black men because I feel like we don't hear from y'all enough. So high five to you all for joining us. And who I'm hanging out with, I know it's Father's Day, approaching and all that. But I'm trying to hang out with my girls, okay? All right, a little bit, y'all. So hopefully this Friday I get to hang out somewhere because I really want to hang out. That's why I'm hanging with the girls.
Do a little pregame warm up before you spend the weekend with him and all that stuff like that for Father's Day.
Yeah, my baby's birthday coming up too, so I want to have like a hang out with the girls and then have a family trip. So
yeah, there we go. Mm-hmm. Balance. That's what I'm talking about because we know how to do that.
Yes. There's a balance in life. Okay.
Right.
That's mine.
Yeah. So now that y'all knows kind of how it flows, which one you want to take the lead? DeAndre, Theo?
Well, I go first then.
Okay, go.
All right. So who I want to hug, right? Hug my wife on a regular, so I always give her love. I'm gonna have to go ahead. I can pick two people if that's possible, because I'm a big hug. I like to hug the world.
I can do a black man always try to rearrange the rules. Go ahead.
It's it's a hard decision, but I would love to hug my wife. And the reason why I would love to hug my wife, because she's been the biggest support system since high school. We've been together, and she's always been that foundation. So she always kept it solid with me, and she has always been real with me. So yeah, I will hug her for life. I'm just squeeze and hug her.
Shout out to Sis Jasmine, because y'all the power couple for real. We'll talk about that another time. That's yes, sis, yes.
The next person,
y'all very inspirational. I just love y'all, but keep going.
we try.
Black love is in the building. I love it.
Hey, we better keep it that way. I like them strong and dark as my coffee. And the next person, I'm gonna keep it real. I would love to hug my mom. Around, I still, God rest her soul. She was if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be me. She's a goofball, silly, and she has always kept me on my toes, taught me the game, she taught me sports. So hugging her, and I miss hugging her a lot. So yeah, if it wasn't for my mama, man, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. For real, I miss her a lot. So, who I want to high five? There's a lot of y'all I want to high five. You guys, God himself, the people in the streets. I'm high fiving everybody, because we all in this world to this day. We still living, we still moving, so we still healthy. So I thank God for everybody. So I'm high fiving the world right now.
You get a high five. You get a high five. You get a high five.
All right, Oprah.
And what was the next? What was the last
hanging one? Out. Who you hanging out with?
Man, that's a good one. Celebrity wise, I want to hang out with Shaq, man. That's my idol growing up. That is, I'm a huge Shaquille O'Neal fan. Always have been. Even though I was Chicago Bulls, so I had to represent the whole time. But Shaquille O'Neal was like the biggest fan. So I was like, if I ever get a chance to hang around with Shaq, I'm like, please adopt me. I know I'm old, but adopt me, Shaq. Maybe be your son. I might be short. Well, I play like you, man, don't have me go crazy when I see Shaq. I'll be like, bro, me, I look like you. You sure? Long head, dark skin. Come on, accept me.
It's like I might be your son. You funny.
Y'all gonna be selling car insurance and icy hot packs together.
I swear. Look, next to each other. Hey, Shaq, your back hurt. Mine do too. Icy hot. This feels
man.
Go ahead, work on your pitch.
Hey, I'm practicing. I'm practicing it. Look, Shaq, come on. You need me. I'll be your double.
I'm done. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Man. Theo, you are up next, sir.
It's a hug, high five, and hang out with, right? Hug my little girl, my daughter, Bodie. She'll be 5 on Tuesday. She's 4. That's my little buddy, man. It's a story for me and her, but yeah, that's my everything. High five. I high five my wife. High five Rhonda. Reason being is that, of course, we always hug, but I think I will high five all like our journey. So the high five has ended up turning into a hug. You know what I mean? Because we've come a long way. So it's like, hey, babe, good stuff. All right, good stuff. All right, now come on, bring it in. You know what I mean? And hang out with probably be my old man. So around this time of the year is a little rough because my daughter was born on the 11th and my old man passed on the 15th. So he died 4 days after she was born. You know what I mean? So it's a whole situation with that. But if I could hang out, it'd be my old man. For sure.
Much love. You also have a beautiful wife and a awesome daughter. Bodhi is just a little brilliant genius in the making. I cannot wait to see her in her journey.
Putting a lot of hard work for that. So
I can only imagine. I get it.
Don't be embarrassing me. No.
Hey, look, they don't stop hard, when they get older either. I just have to tell my 14.
So, but no, those would be my 3 though, for sure.
I love it. I love it. Okay, Shante. You know, make everybody else go. Now we got to get you, sis.
I know, always. I'm a high five my future husband, the kid's stepdaddy, because you know he out there. We out here missing each other. I don't know how, but he gonna show me that it's all right to trust again and to fall in love, and we gonna make a blended family work. And he gonna deal and support my craziness. So I'm gonna high five my future husband because he out there. He's just preparing himself for what he gonna have to deal with. So yeah,
manifestation. I love it, sis. It's coming. It is coming.
And you like, come on, sir, high five. You gonna get it. We gonna get it together.
Yes.
Take we always do the silly ones. Let me see. I would hug my dad. He lives in Dallas, and it's not easy for me to see him with everything with the kids and being a caregiver for my mom. And I know there's some things going on with him that prevents travel and stuff like that. Because I'm a daddy's girl, 100%. So I would hug him because I miss the easy access that I used to have when I could just roll up and stuff like that. It's probably inconvenient, but I didn't care. Like, I didn't ask to be here. You had me, so I'm gonna come over here whenever I want. So now I don't have that luxury. So I would do that. And who I would hang out with. You already know it's the same all the time. It's Michael B. Jordan. He's probably gonna make a great stepdaddy for the kids. So we probably should hang out. Get to know each other a little bit more. So yeah, that's what I would do.
Oh Lord!
Every time he don't see one of these episodes, I keep dropping the links.
I'm gonna drop in his DMs. Drop these links in his.
I do.
And y'all tag him on these videos so we can get we trying to manifest this. We need to manifest.
I'm trying to get him to come to a comedy show. He can come to an in-person podcast. I mean,
come on.
I'm waiting either for him to reply back or to get a cease and desist. Either way, he gonna get these Instagram DMs.
Girl, not the cease and
no, he gonna know who I am. Either way,
he gonna know Shante Love. Yes, sir.
Hey.
Manifestation is real. I'm sorry, y'all. It takes Shante Love. So that was great. Shout out to you all for being a sport and joining us in our shenanigans. The next one, it kind of kicks off the conversation. It is who you checking on. So again, being whoever you feel the need to, and we're talking pertaining to their mental health. Now, I'm going to kick this off for you, Shante, to kick us off, and then I'll let the guys go, and I'll go last.
Ooh, who would I check on? It don't always have to be a celebrity, but I don't be wanting to put out my people's on blast. Ooh, I'll probably check on Martin Lawrence, just because that shift from getting back into stand-up after so long. I heard Bad Boys 4 is killing it though. I'm gonna take myself, but I'm also trying to find some little tender to take me. But I spend my own money. I would definitely check on him. That's a lot when you haven't been touring or out there like that, and he's about to do all these multiple cities, you know, late this year, early next year, and stuff like that. And mentally, that's a lot to prepare yourself. You really got to be in a headspace to want to do that again, especially at the magnitude that he's doing it, which it's him. He can do it like that, but that's a lot. So I would check in on Martin Lawrence. Like, I'm so happy that he's pursuing things and doing things, but that can be a lot of stress. And I'm just a local comedian in St. Louis, so I can't even fathom being a movie star, doing all this stuff, and then back on the road and things like that. So Sweet.
At his age, because there's some seasoned men now.
There's some very seasoned, exactly.
Yeah, they've been in the game for a long time, especially Martin. And Martin, I mean, baby, the Martin show that goes down in history as one of the best. What you say, Theo?
I was just saying, classic. It's a classic.
So, for him to still be in the game, and like you said, after having some sickness and illness, and he like, I want to still get out here. Kudos to him, and I agree with you. Checking on his mental would be something that's done. All right, who going next, Theo or DeAndre? Let's let Theo go first. Yeah, come on.
I can go. So, and the question is, who am I checking on?
Yes, like mental
health wise.
I'm gonna go different. I'm gonna check on myself because I don't do it enough.
Ooh.
You just, when you always go, and you don't really get a chance to sit down. You know what I mean? Because you have all these different responsibilities. You got to wear all these hats. You play all these different roles. You know what I mean? And I don't, because I am very selfless. You know what I mean? So it's hard. It's one of those difficult things for myself to be able to actually do that, because I've heard that before. Like, hey man, you need to sit down for a minute, and I'm like, all right, but I never do. You know what I mean? So me check on myself for sure.
I appreciate that honesty, and I do think that Black men don't get the space because they are so like, y'all have these titles of being the protector, the provider, all of these things, and usually y'all, for the most part, hustling, if it's positive or if it's not, to try to make ends meet and take care of your family, and that's how y'all love show up. So it definitely becomes like yourself is behind, and you're trying to do all these other things. So kudos to you, and I will encourage you to sit down.
Go down somewhere.
Hey, I'm sitting down right now.
That's how we need to tell Rhonda. That's how I need to talk to him sometimes. Like every couple, every once in a while. Hey,
let me tell you, I'm sure Rhonda, as someone who knows and work with Rhonda, I'm sure Rhonda be telling him to sit down.
She has before, but then she want me to get right back up too. You know what I'm saying? That's not this misconstrued here.
We gotta tell her sit down, leave him alone.
Right now, you gotta get back.
Man, I gotta make a soul run. Do this.
What's it called? The honey-do list. Yeah.
Honey-do list, man.
Oh, is that what it is? I need to make it. No, it's fine.
Hey, honey, can you do?
I'm gonna lay down and oh, wifey, what you want me to do next? Oh, go ahead and get that tissue for me. I just laid down.
Right.
I ain't even gonna lie.
It's called a balance and harmony. Try to balance it out, and then it should all work in perfect harmony. In a perfect world, but that's why we keep working.
It's a struggle. It is a struggle. It is. It's a struggle.
I think the kids do it to us, so we do it to them.
The kids do it to us. And then we do it to them. But you know what? In my house, it literally be like the opposite, though.
I'll be right say,
"Oh, daddy," and I'd be like, "Yes, Lord, I'm going to sleep." Y'all do what y'all want. But DeAndre, who you checking on?
My kids. I know I check up on them on a regular. It's like 24/7 with me. The reason why is because me growing up, I never had anybody, check in on me growing up. So I wasn't never used to people calling and make sure that I was okay. I was just going about my way, being by myself a lot. But my kids, all 5 of my babies, they are so special to me. So every day I get up and be like, y'all good? And they be asleep, and I'd be like, give them a kiss on the forehead, going checking in their rooms. I'd be double checking their rooms a lot to make sure nothing ain't, running around going crazy, because they scared of monsters and all that other stuff. But I love checking up on my kids because they mental health and their well-being is very important to me.
Absolutely.
And I tell them a lot. I'm willing to make sure that y'all good mentally, then I'm good mentally, because I didn't have that. So I want them to experience that. They have a parent that cares about them a lot, that's going to check in on them every day. And I got a bunch of god babies that I still call and be like, hey, what you doing? You okay? You good? You know, all my god babies, they know I care about them a lot. So, but most majority of my kids, my 5 babies, they'll do the same for me. Every time I go to bed, Daddy, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. What happened? And he was looking at me crazy, like, are we just checking in on you? You do that to us, scaring us. I said, oh no, just checking in. Y'all good. But yeah, majority of my babies, they very important to me. So that's my heart.
Yes, that's what's up. That's beautiful. Respecting and understanding and loving your child as a whole person.
Yes.
You know, they're mental and emotional. And I think that's what a lot of us do in our generation, because we didn't have that.
Come on,
so
Shante.
we're making it apparent to do that. And it's a beautiful thing. And I don't think we give ourselves credit, because a lot of us are also healing those parts of us while trying to make sure we're doing the same thing, or not repeating those cycles with our children. So kudos to you. I mean, not the checking in multiple times. They scared of monsters, they're scared of you. They don't know when you coming in, checking on them, and they turn around and you right there.
I had my son, he jumped up like, I said, that's me. It's me. It's me, son. I'm sorry. I look ugly right now, but once I shave the head and get my beard and stuff together, I got you. Yeah, I'll be
coming in there looking scruffy. They're like, who is this?
I swear.
I was thinking the same thing. When you all were talking, it was kind of like refreshing to hear, especially you, DeAndre, say like, I'm always checking in on my children, because I saw it goes back to what Shante was saying. Like, I'm healing from a space where it feels like I'm the one that has to build the relationship with my parents, and it has to be like a certain way. Like even my father, like I have to be the one to reach out. And for me, it's like this is a two-way street. I'm an adult now, but even as a child, like it's a two-way street. And I just saw a meme that said like no child is responsible for building a relationship with an adult. So kudos to you, and just checking on your mental health. Like we've always been that generation that was told, stay in a child's place. You ain't got no feelings. It's, you ain't got, how you feel some type of way. You ain't paying no bills. You ain't all those different things. And I agree that we are a generation that is saying, let's heal that our children do have feelings and emotion, and let's acknowledge them and somewhat care for them in their feelings and emotions. So kudos to us.
For real. All love in here.
Yeah. Kudos to us changing the game. Because baby, when I say the next generation, that's where my hope comes in. It's the generation that we're raising. So kudos to them. All right, y'all. Let's get into it. And I think y'all already touched on so many valuable things, and I just appreciated it. But my first question to you all as fathers, and centering around your mental health or just fatherhood period, what is your biggest struggle?
Well, my biggest struggle is dealing with my past. Growing up, coming from all the way from Chicago. I grew up in a real bad environment. Grew up in a drug infested household. Grandmother used to sell drugs. Uncles, was working under her. And, I stayed around a lot of substance users. And my experience of that, seeing it all. I've seen everything from sexual abuse, physical abuse by a lot of people. It's a lot of stuff that I experienced that I always say that I don't want my kids to experience. People that I have seen died in front of me, and suicide. It was a lot of stress that I was dealing with from being very young at the age of 8 all the way to now. And when I thought about everything that happened in my life, I was struggling with that all the way up to my 30s. And, it was hard for me to get the help that I need, but also it was hard for me to, raise my kids the way I want to. And it was some stuff that I was still healing from my past that it was hard for me. I was letting go little by little, but it was still bothering me of me being a father. So I tried my best to just ignore what I had going on in my past and focus more on my family, because my family is the only important that I have to protect. I have to protect my family at all costs, because nobody didn't protect me, and I didn't know how I feel to be protected by my family, my mother, or my, I didn't really have a father like that. My stepfather is still in my life to this day, because he's actually is the big part of who I am too, because he actually taught me a lot. He was like, still to this day, he's still the only father figure I have, and my grandfather as well. And they taught me a lot. I didn't know how to be vulnerable. And just to be in this space now, I can really be vulnerable and tell people my story. I don't want to waste too much time talking about it too much, but just the fact that it took me years, it took me up to now to know that I can be vulnerable and I can tell people my story, what I went through, and share it so I can inspire other men that can open up and express themselves the way they need to, express themselves. So it feels good to let go all that issues that's been hindering me for years, and I can focus more on what my goal is as a father, to see my kids grow in a safe environment so they can see, like, okay, my parents are the best examples. They showed me this, they taught me that, and they've been in my corner, and it feels good to see that. But yeah, my biggest struggle was my past, and my past don't own me no more. So,
he just dropped the gem. My past don't own me no more. I love that. Go ahead, Theo. What has been?
My apologies. I was making sure.
You good?
I guess I can piggyback off Brother DeAndre. It's a meme or something that's out there that said, or a quote, it ran in my family until it ran into me. And now myself, I like that. Anytime I see that go across my social timeline, I'm like, yeah, I fight hard every day not to be so. Okay. It's so I grew up in a 2-parent home, right? But physically my pops was there, but mentally he wasn't, right? He's from the South. He's from a city called Junction City, Arkansas. It sits on the border of it's like when you cross a stoplight, you're in the top half of Louisiana. So it's like this the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Like it's that time frame. So a lot of the upbringing that he knew came from that era, right? That mindset. So he had me with my mom in the 80s and 90s and up to the 2000s. That mindset has shifted over that course of time. You know what I mean? So the way he thinks and the way I think is two different paths. You know what I'm saying? And I said all that to say, I know raising my daughter, I can't have the way he thinks and his mindset, even though that's the foundation. So I like to call it, I'm learning from a book of what not to do. If that make any sense. Because my old man, he did the best that he possibly could. And when I'm in the motions of raising my daughter, it's like I'm looking for a reference, but my reference isn't the best reference to use. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. And it's not to my old man, but it just, the math ain't mathing, dog. Like it ain't happening. You know what I mean? So I have to be mindful as well. And I tell my daughter tell her that all the time. Like, be mindful, baby. I have to be mindful of knowing that the way I'm raising her isn't the way I was raised, and trusting in my knowledge and my life experiences to make sure that she's being I'm trying to find the words. My bad, y'all.
No, you good. Take your time. You
Make
good.
sure he's she can't come up the way I came up. It's just, it ain't happening. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. That's just what it is. It ain't happening. So I have to do my due diligence as a father, as a dad, and just make sure that I'm crossing my T's and dotting my I's as well. You know what I mean? To make sure that she good. So that my past doesn't come through me and then now is in my present and then eventually be her future. You know what I mean? So I make sure that I'm the common denominator, if that make any sense, to what I allow in and what I make sure, hey man, get out of here. You know what I mean? We don't need that. You know what I mean? This is for Bodie Rose right here. So anything that's negative is no country for. You got to go. But on a day-to-day basis, excuse me, that's sort of a struggle because I did not see what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I didn't see it. You know what I mean? I didn't have a great reference point to do the things that I'm doing now. So, excuse me. So to hear someone outside of me say, speak highly about my wife and my daughter, that means the world to me. That means that I'm doing something correctly. You know what I mean? In those different spaces, if that make any sense. So, yeah.
I got two things that I want to acknowledge from kind of both of y'all aspects. We recently had the conversation in person where we talked about intergenerational motherhood. And one of the things that came up was the toolbox. How we don't have the tools where we're trying to do something different, right?
The reference to.
Yes, in reference to what you were saying. And it's so refreshing to also hear this though on the father side, because I also think that sometimes we get into these lanes where, oh my God, motherhood is hard. Oh my God, like mother this, mother that. And we don't acknowledge that you guys are doing some of the same things that we're trying to do as mothers. We're trying, and I'm not trying to take away from fathers. I'm just trying to say, like, if we start to understand that we're in this together while we're both struggling to figure this out, that we'll give each other more grace. Because that's exactly what we were in there crying about. We was teared out, and that's why a little bit different, because we're a little bit more emotional, because we was crying our eyes out at this event. But we were saying the same thing, like we struggle because we're trying to do it differently, and we don't have the tools to go back and pull from because they weren't in there. I'm hearing that too come out in this space where y'all like, we had a rough childhood. I've seen only bad things. And like you said, we acknowledge that, and we did that too, that our parents had the best that they could at that time, but what they had ain't what our children need. We know that. So shout out to and kudos to you. I wanted to just say that I acknowledge that. And also I hear too that the struggles of the lives before, and how, like you just said, like I don't want my kids to experience that. I don't want them to endure what
it starts at home. And I mean to cut you. I'm sorry. It starts at home.
Good. This is a conversation. Cut me off.
It starts at home. You know what I mean? And I had to realize that myself. Like, hey man, I'm going to be the reason why she is or isn't what she wants to be. I'm the reason why. So if I don't get myself, what is it? If I don't get my ish together, you know what I'm saying? Then she ain't gonna have a chance. You know what I mean? Especially nowadays, man. Don't give me the preaching, man. Hey man, it's bad out here. So I got to make sure I'm doing my part to make sure my little baby is good. You know what I mean? Make sure she's good out here. So that toolbox, we got to get some new tools. You know what I'm saying? We got to fill it with some new stuff, because the old stuff it still work, but it's rusty. You know what I mean?
Oh, I was just gonna say that.
You dig what I'm saying?
So
we got to
hammer, but it ain't gonna get the good quality.
Yeah. We have to back up that. I don't mean to cut you off, bro.
No, go ahead, fam.
Especially like if you want to speak about like mostly single parents, some single parents really have a background that they didn't have that growing up. So they go for what they believe that is right for them. So if you have a single mother and she's raising a boy, she don't know what a man's supposed to be like or act like. Only thing she can only know is based off what she see in the community.
And look, my bad. Go ahead.
And no, you all good. It's all good. And me, I was raised in a single parent household. And my mom used to always, she had nothing but boys, and she was already tough, tough as nails anyway, because she grew up poor and situations that happened to her in the past, and I I used to be I can cry about something. Mom was like, you need to toughen up. You a boy. Boys don't cry. Boys don't cry. You need to toughen up. Now, no man, they throw that at you because they don't know themselves. So now, as a boy, you growing up fast because only thing you know is, okay, I got to be tough. So now you molded yourself and didn't know as kids, us boys, us young men, we don't know that we molded ourselves into being heartless, being, overly tough. And we got to prove to the hood, to the world that you can't stop us. But also when we going through something that's so traumatic, we don't know if it's normal. We don't know how to handle it. We still young, so we still learning life as we go. We won't understand that until later on when we get older. And that's when everything that you held in, that you bottled in for so long, flows out. And, just to go off a little bit, I used to always held that in growing up. And me growing into being like tough and got to show my masculine ways because I'm a man. I never understood my sensitive side. I never understood that I can be sensitive. I can cry. I never understood that. And when I first experienced that, that's when everybody has this thing to say, oh, and see, look, you too soft for me. You too soft, and that right there shows that I can't trust nobody. So now I gotta hold that in even longer, and that's build even more of a bond. You create. So right now I'm creating a bond. So you never know what I'm dealing with, and as soon as you finally years down the line, you open up again, and you found somebody that you can trust to open up to, and they sit back and understand you, they be like, okay, you just like me. I'm just as broken as you. So we relate to each other. And that's gonna be the only way of healing too. Two broken people can create something that you can heal from because only broken people can relate to broken people. And just understanding that our young men now is lost, and it's hard for them to find that way or find an example for them to go to because we don't have a lot of examples. So I use my life and I use my situation to help young men to find that safe space, to find somebody they can trust, they can talk to, because they need just as much as help. They need our help. They need a lot of help, and it's just our young men out here lost, and me experienced that lostness and took a long time to find that. I want to be able to help them find themselves now before they get older and they continue to lose themselves more, and they're going to be going through even more of a hardship in life because they're not going to understand how it feels to be loved, to be cared for, to understand what a hug really feels like. Because I didn't know how it feels like until I got older. So just I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a little emotional.
You're good.
It's okay.
It's good. I think what you, not to cut you off, but what you said was like, you guys are the example now. Like a lot of young men do come across as being lost. That's because you guys are the example now. Absolutely. And I appreciate a lot of the Black men in our generation understanding that they don't have to be whole and perfect in order to guide and mentor and let young men know that. Like, you guys didn't have the safe space. Now you are becoming the safe space. And that takes a lot. And especially when you're already working in your home and in communities. Because like you said, I was raised in a 2-parent home. My kids had a 2-parent home up to a certain point. And it irks me when they tell me that women, especially Black women, can't raise men when they've been raising them. So like we out here raising them. But I do appreciate
Theo look like he had something to push back on.
I do support the mentors in the community, because now I do know that I was, and I know other generation probably didn't have that. I know I have the support of men in the community I can trust to help aid me in that support. I knew as soon as my household dynamic changed that I needed a mentor for my son, a Black mentor.
And I just want to say, I had to cut you off too, Shante, but I think too is that Black women, a lot of Black women, but I think there's more Black men in the household, and it's just not uplifted enough. But I do want to say that I think Black women have been raising Black men because they had to.
That's what I was getting. I'm sorry. That's what I was getting.
Yes, they had to. It's not that they should, but they had to. And I also want to acknowledge, Alisa Deek said something that I appreciated. He said, "I'm not mad at my mother. I'm mad at my father because you should have been there. And if you were there, she wouldn't have had to do these things that she had to do to raise me. And it wouldn't have put me in a situation that it had to put me in to now come to the streets or all the other things that I had to lead up to get into jail." So I just wanted to acknowledge that, sister, that you're doing something or
that we shouldn't have to do.
That you shouldn't have.
Oh, definitely doing something I shouldn't have to do, but we're doing it. But I do commend the fact that we're also acknowledging that I don't have to do it alone.
Yes.
And
the community stepping up.
The community when raising my children, especially my Black son.
Actually, I want to add to everything to what all three of y'all have said. For the Black community, man, we're as a whole, we're still healing, right? So every one person has a similar situation, but it's not the same. It may look like it is, but on paper, but on the surface, it's like, man, this is deeply rooted, rightfully so. To you all's point, and I'm just gonna make a reference to one of my favorite books called The Color of Law, and it's about like it's about how America was shaped to create white wealth, right? And how they were able to do that was, man, it's a dirty game. For an example, they would allow us to live in their neighborhoods, right? But then they would send the Black men who were in the home off to war. So who left at the crib? Mom and the kids, right? Think about that for a second. Yeah. So think about what y'all just said, and then think about what I just said.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it was. There's a lot of things done by this. Look, I ain't gonna get into all my theories and all that, but I'll be paying attention to stuff, right?
Now keep it going.
But if the Black man wasn't in the home to protect the wife and the kids to begin with, what you think they're gonna do now without the knowledge and the education on why that is, one, where it came from, two, how to come up with a resolve for that. So what they would do was we would get a good job because the white man got us a good job, and then we get into the neighborhood. They upcharge the rent, then they ship us off to Bangladesh. Well, I want to be racist. Ship us off somewhere we ain't supposed to be at. The mom and the kids is at home. So now they scaring the mom and the kids by throwing Molotov cocktails into the home, right? So then now they got to move up out the neighborhood. So then when the man come back, his crib gone, his family gone. Am I making sense here? You know what I'm saying? So those things were never corrected. They just kept getting swept under the rug, and then as life went on,
the generational,
the Black man ain't in the home.
Yeah,
well, I wonder why.
Yeah, because you set it up
to go pay for the family, but our families are being harassed and abused. You know what I mean? So it's a healing that I from my viewpoint, that our entire village and community need to do as a whole, so that we can all figure this thing out together versus just mom or just dad. Because it went from the village to just mom. That's crazy if you think about it.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's it's like, well, wait a minute. I thought Well, uncle, dad, and all his brothers, they went off the war. Some of them ain't come back. Out of 5, maybe 2 came back. Like, you understand what I'm saying here? And this is 50, 60, 70. So it's a lot of things that have been swept under the rug, man, that we as a whole haven't had to deal with, but we have to deal with it individually, which has caused so much friction and separatism between our community. You know what I mean? So I said all that to say I don't blame our forefathers, you know what I mean, for the things that they had to endure, but it is up to us to create that change for our families now, and then our families, you know what I'm saying, moving forward, so that we don't have, like Brother DeAndre say, dealing with this and dealing with that. And you know what I'm saying, like we as a it takes a village. I'm sorry, rambling. It takes a village. And when that village is intact, a lot of the issues that we have individually don't happen anymore, because we're all able to reach out and touch each other and help each other with our individual issues that we have, and we can do it collectively as a community if we can ever make that.
We can, and we are. The amount of Black male mentors and people who want to see the betterment of their whole communities, it's happening.
I run a basketball program every week.
I think it is happening. I think it's just not uplifted enough.
Not uplifted enough.
And that's why
I had to go searching for it. I had to go searching to make sure I got the proper, not the proper, but Black men who actually cared enough to make sure. So it took a while, but I did it, and I was hell bent on doing it. And I'll fight tooth and nails if I ever had to do it again. I had to put some, because I know the importance of a positive Black male figure, and it isn't always someone that's completely healed. And I love it when brothers come together and say that you can still make a difference and still be there for someone, even through going through your own stuff, but make sure that you're also holding space and grace for yourself, because that's a lot to take on, because our Black men do that. They take on so much because their hearts are so big. And I appreciate that so much, especially as a single mom, more than you know about the positive male influence for me and my kids. So
that's understandable.
I do want to ask you all too, to also talk to, like, how do, I know Theo, you kind of uplifted earlier that, you know, you struggle a little bit with taking care of yourself and your mental health because you do so much. Because this is what I really wanted to pull out of this space, is like getting other men to feel like it's okay to take care of themselves in their mental health, and a little bit normalizing. So how do you all do that? I know you probably still figuring out what that looks like, but what are some things that you're doing right now to either do that, or what do you want to do moving forward to take care of you and your mental health?
I do a weekly basketball program called Holla If You Hoopin'. And it's a safe space for Black men to come and just chop it up, and then after that we play some ball. For me, it's playing ball is like therapeutic for me. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I know that a lot of brothers, that's, you know, saying we came up, that's what we do. You know what I mean? We play ball. So I have a space for it, and and one of the things too that it kind of turned into like a father and son thing. So the brothers, they who have kids or who have nephews, whatever, they'll bring their sons, they bring their nephews. I got 50-year-olds out there playing ball. I got all the way down to high schoolers. You know what I mean? So it's a good time, and we have that space for each other to chop it up, talk, check in with each other, see what's going on, and then we, you know what I'm saying, we play ball. You know what I mean? And what I appreciate about it is the camaraderie and the sharing and the speaking, because they say we don't talk, we don't speak, we don't share, we hold everything in. So that's my way of creating space and holding space for my brothers to be able to let out whatever it is that's on their mind. You know what I mean? I know things about people that I probably shouldn't even know, but it's cool that these brothers are able, excuse me, to trust, and to be, you gotta have that trust first to be able to share that information. So that's my way of, and I don't know if, I'm sorry if that was the question or not, but that's my way of being that village in that community for my brothers. You know what I mean?
For yourself too.
Oh yeah. And that. See, I'm so used to doing everything for everybody else. I forgot about myself. But no, absolutely for myself. Absolutely. But
You said I'm so tired. Balling. We're gonna work on this thing, y'all. I'm gonna get Rhonda.
I'm tired, y'all.
Rhonda, you heard me, sis. Get your man. he gotta do something for himself. But no, you did say that balling was therapeutic for you too. So I caught that.
So to I guess let me say this, and I don't want to take too much. When you're it's crazy when you think about it. When you come up in a household to where you're the man of the house, but you're not really supposed to be.
Yes.
But you feel you have to be.
Come on now.
Because you know what I'm saying? So
because the pressure is applied, and I think we do. Now, Black women, y'all gonna hate me, but it's all right. I don't care.
I'm gonna take
this hate. I think Black women have done this thing where we pressure on our sons to be the man of the household when they are our sons. There are our children. We've pressured them to be this man when they're not even ready. And first of all, we just said we don't even know what a man's supposed to be. We're coming from a lens of what I want my man to be. Okay. And that is the pressure that becomes to our sons that eventually become men who cannot care for themselves because they've been too busy caring for their mother.
We don't know how to. We ain't been taught.
I know.
That's what we've been told.
We will be here all day. We will be here all day.
Let's be here all day. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Open up the can of worms.
No shit. Hey, look here. Man, I've been working since I was 12.
Ooh.
I will not Chris Rock my son. I will not Chris Rock my son.
I've been since I was 12.
Wow.
He asked me the other day.
But I'm like, think about that, right? Like, why am I working at 12, bro? Like, I'm tired already. And I ain't even started yet.
You ain't even started yet.
I've been working since I was 12. But now, that was because of different circumstances that were happening inside the house. Remember those things I said to get swept under the rug? If it don't get dealt with, it's going to keep lingering on it until it ran in my family, until it ran into me. You know what I'm saying? So, this is, I'm getting to a place where it's hard for me to put myself first. I don't know how to do that. I honestly don't know how to do that. For me, putting myself first is not taking care of my folks that I got to take care of. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's my basketball is what I choose to. It is me choosing myself. You know what I'm saying? That's my way of doing that. But other than that, man, I gotta get it.
And I just want to say, I just want to acknowledge your honesty and your vulnerability in this space. I think there's going to be so many men that's going to resonate with what you just said. So many men in our community. And I think that is what's happening. A lot of Black men aren't able, these youth, they aren't able to put themselves first. And they're out here just doing what they can. And until we acknowledge that this is happening, like you said, it's going to keep being swept under the rug. And we're going to keep having grown men who can't care for themselves. Just as like, I'm not trying to make this about women. I don't care, y'all. Y'all going to be mad about me. Yes, it is what it is. But I just acknowledge that. So if you pressuring me to show up as a child in a household, how do you think I even want to make my own household? I've already held down a household before. So by the time I'm grown for my own household, I think that's why they're running away, because they're tired. They don't want to do it anymore. So I think the generation before us need to acknowledge that they either pressured Black boys to be the man of the house, or they done coddled them so much that they don't even know how to be responsible for themselves, and now they just depending on Black women. So that's what we're working with, unfortunately, and it's gonna cause for us to have some conversations and some healing.
It is, and I think a lot of us are noticing that. And I ain't even gonna lie, I do at times give my ex a little bit of grace, because some things are your own personal choice, but I do understand that his upbringing was different. So he did have to take on a lot, or see a lot of things that unfortunately he was unable to express, and it came out in negative ways. And I always want to make it apparent that my son is able to stay in a child's place and to be able to be a kid, even though I know that he's noticed and he's seen things in me, like me struggling and stuff like that. But I always make sure I say, like, hey, I got this. I'll figure it out. I don't want you to worry. But they worry because they see that stuff. But I also make sure to, like, hey, have a conversation with your dad about that and stuff like that. Because I think his dad is also trying to heal those parent wounds to kind of stop that cycle. It didn't go the best way about doing it, but it doesn't mean we can't really cohesively co-parent to make sure. Because like you said, he's been working since they were, 12. Like, he asked me about a job this summer. I said, boy, you about to do high school next year. I said, you can focus on some sports. Ain't worry about no job. No. Like, the real world's gonna bite you real fast. The real world gonna bite you real fast.
Yeah. We don't want our mothers and our parents to struggle. That's why we take it on. We see it. Mm-hmm. Nothing gets past the child. I don't care what you say. It doesn't. Kids see everything. My daughter, man, yeah, kids see everything.
And I appreciate how transparent you guys are about how you want to change that and how DeAndre checks on the kids, because that it matters. It affects them. They may not say it, but they're taking that all in.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Most importantly, if to say this, if you are a father and you have boys, it's okay to hug them and be sensitive. Show your feelings, because when they don't see that from a man, they tend to look at it as my daddy is the toughest man on earth. No, we all have feelings. We all cry. We cry in private, but we gotta get that out of that mindset. We can't be in private all the time. Our kids need to see our emotions, how we feel too. Me and my son, we had our moments yesterday, 2 days ago. He came to me, and he's have the same issues I have. Having like learning disability and things in the sort, having a hard time getting, understanding everything. And one day he came to me and he told me how he felt. I sat and listened to him, and to the point that we both sat and cried together. I hugged him so tight, and he needed that. And for the fact that he felt safe, it was to the point he felt like a baby again. He sat on my lap, he hugged me and just cried. And that hurt me so much, because to see him feel that way. And he'll tell me how he felt. And I have a young, baby boy too that do the same thing. But to every man that needs to hear this, it's okay to cry with your kids. If you got daughters, your daughters need to see that same emotion too. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to cry in front of your kids. Your kids need to understand how it feels to heal together. We have a hard time really showing that. We gotta, did he cry out? All right, I'm good. Let me go ahead, straighten up, and let me get back out there and show my kids who I really am. No, the kids need to see that. They need to know that. And on my part, and I am working on a dad's group as well. With that, I wanted to be able to get all fathers at different ages, because fathers I meet, they 15 and having kids already. And me being a doula, met some young ladies, 15, 16 years old, about the pop right now. And I'm meeting fathers. I talk to every father, on the Illinois side and on the St. Louis, on the Missouri side, just to try to bring them together so we can all have a talk, because this conversation here, that needs to be talked about. Most men, we need to have that village of men that actually can come together so we can all have that conversation, so we can all be vulnerable all at the same time, because we need to have this emotions to flow out so we can heal from anything that happened in our past. And like I said, it's just, we don't have to always have that facade to think that we tough and we can, nothing can stop us. I mean, we have our moments, we have our weakness.
It's a balance.
It's gotta be.
That's what it sounded like from both of you all. It's a balance.
I want to, if I may, one of the hardest things anybody can do is to show their emotions. So I shouldn't be, man. Look, I've been crying for almost 4 or 5 years straight. You know what I mean? Like I say, my daughter's born June 11th. 2019, my daughter's born June 11th. My old man passed away on the 15th. So I was in the hospital my wife was in one side of the hospital. My old man was on the other side of the hospital. So every day I'm back and forth, check on my pops, check on my wife. My old man, he suffered a stroke. Then he had a heart attack, and then a seizure all at once. This was back in 2019. And so while that was going on, my wife was getting ready to be induced, you know what I'm saying, for labor. You know what I mean? So I've had an awakening, if you will, with this life altering event. You know what I mean? Because I'm dealing with I'm watching my old man fight for his life, and then I'm watching my wife getting ready to produce a life. You know what I mean? So it's a different space for anybody to be in. So yeah, just that alone, on top of other things that were happening during that time, yeah, man, those tears was flowing. They was flowing, man, and it's more so like a cleansing for real. You know what I mean? Like you don't hold on to it no more. You get it up out of you. And it's good to either emotions is just, for me, it's an energy, right? It's an energy. Wherever you direct that energy is where it's gonna be. You know what I mean? So you can either take your heavy emotion and channel it towards frustration. You can channel it towards anger. You can try to flip it and give it some life, and then turn it into love to give to somebody. Like, it's whatever you choose to do it, but you gotta have those tools in that toolbox, in order for you to create that space so that you can be able to allow those emotions to, one, be what they are, so that you can understand it, because you got to understand the emotion first so that you can know what to direct it to. You know what I mean? So you acknowledge it, figure out if it's some energy that's worth even giving time to. Then if it is, either one or two things. If it's not, do away. If it is, all right, now I have this energy that I can shift towards love towards my daughter, so that the past don't, you understand? Like, for me, all this stuff is connected for me. You know what I mean? That's how man, look.
Now it makes a lot of sense. I think.
Yeah. Go ahead. I mean, I ain't meant to monopolize. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to acknowledge what you were saying, and that I agree that it's the first thing of acknowledging and knowing what you're feeling. Right. Every emotion. We did a segment on the Hood Talks podcast with a therapist about how to even identify what your emotions are.
There it is. Yes.
The core of the problem. Like, you're angry. Yes, you're angry, right? That's how it comes out. But what is making you angry?
What is the root?
What is the root of it?
Get to the root of it.
Yes. Get to the root of it. And if it's something that you can change, I'm acknowledging what you said. If you can change it, if you can address that anger where the root of it, then address it somewhere in a positive way. But if you can't, then how do you heal it and let it go? So it doesn't fester up in the present, which that's what's happening with our community right now, period. Right. I acknowledge this all the time about my trauma. I show up in a certain way because of how I've been in the past done, the trauma that I had not taken care of back then. Because like you said, a lot of the times it's just swept under the rug, or a lot of times it's just like, oh, that's how she is. We ain't gonna acknowledge her.
Right. It's not. It doesn't have to be.
Yes, and that's
it
not.
Doesn't have to be.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be. So I think all of this is so prevalent in how, again, I just love that it's also prevalent for us to show that fathers are dealing with some of these things too. And we need spaces, more spaces. I hear you got your holla and hooping group. I know you said, DeAndre, that you're trying to co-create a space. Either I agree we don't have enough and we need more spaces. And my question is, how do we get more men to tap in to these spaces?
You just gotta ask. As simple as that. Nobody asked us anything. Correct. Whoa. Let me rephrase. Let me rephrase that. Hold up. Wait. Whoa. Hey, DeAndre, I got you, bro. Hold on. I got you.
I was gonna say my head was kicking. I'm like, wait a minute.
I'm agreeing with you on that one.
we are definitely asked to do things, but when it comes to us, we're not asked. We're not asked because it's that Chris Rock quote, man. I try not to give it too much, but it's a little bit of validity in that.
What he say? What's the quote?
Men are based on I'm paraphrasing on what we can provide versus what's the rest of it? I can't remember it fully, but I'll text it to you. But
we don't feel like we being heard. We never are heard. We feel like machines. The only thing that a man is supposed to do is protect and provide. But when it comes down, exactly. But when it comes down to our feelings, it doesn't really matter. It's not valid because our job is to just be protector, provider, and produce. That's the only thing we are good for. But we feel like in this world we don't feel human. We don't feel like we exist. We don't feel like we not able to have feelings. So it's hard for us to really cope with that because that's all we used to. That's all we believed in is that that's what we are. But nobody, and bro, you're right. Nobody have never asked us. We always try to figure something out on our own because it's hard for us to get all that together because we trying to figure ourselves out still and understand what's our existence on this world right now.
I think, my bad, I mean to cut you off, bro. Man, look, it'll be 9 years for me married come August 31st of this year. And thank you, I appreciate that. All right. I'm gonna go one way. Then I'm as the kids say, I'm gonna spin the block, and then I'm gonna go back the other way, right? It took me to learn myself within my marriage to hold on. I want to make sure I'm saying this correctly. It took the partnership of me and my wife for me to learn different aspects of myself, so that I can be better for me. And then in turn be better for us, right? But it took different things in order to be set in place in order for me to learn those things. If you're never taught, you're never going to learn. You're never going to be able to do. Am I making sense? Like I don't want to get the ramble and stuff. Like
no, you making perfectly good. You making sense, and I think the healing is in the relationship. Like when we say Black love is revolutionary, I agree. I'm going to something that DeAndre said previously that I've heard too, is that I was told that two broken people can't help each other, but I disagree. I think two willing people who want to heal, that's the key. Willing. You can be broken, but if you're willing to heal and you want to do that in a sense together, you can find your soft spots in each other. And
communication is vital too.
So communication is.
If y'all don't start talking. Talk.
Come on, man.
Men and women.
Come on, Theo.
Talk, man. Stop.
Come
on. All right. Okay.
Communication is key, Black men.
It's so key.
Black women can't read your minds.
Look,
and it's crazy. Black men can't read y'all women mind either.
That's true.
Communication is vital, ladies. No, it takes a village. Hold on. It don't just take a village for the kids. It's a village for everybody.
Yes. The importance of having a village as an adult, especially when you didn't have one younger. And it's crazy because when DeAndre was like, no one ever asked, and he just felt out of place. And it's crazy. It made me think of like Black women are always thought about as superhuman, superwoman. And the way you were describing it, DeAndre, made it seem like you feel like you were an alien, like you're just here trying to adapt to the ways of things that you know nothing about, and still trying to fit in and make it work to the best of your ability. And it's just like,
I'm also hearing that
think about this stuff,
right? Am I right too to say that? Like I'm also hearing that you all sometimes feel like you said we don't feel human. We feel like aliens, right? Like you feel like you have to just produce, and you have no emotions to contribute to the spaces sometimes. Is that also valid?
Or how to validate your feelings?
Yeah, because I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead.
No, you good, bro. Go ahead.
So it's a situation. So just say, you know, you get married, and some reason you and your spouse, y'all tend to have this little conversation, and you know, women are more open to share their story than men. And some reason you hear their story, hear their situation, their background, you understand, you take that to heart because now you're in that situation, you be like, you know what, I want to protect this. I want to protect my wife. I want to make sure that she's safe. It gets to a point that us as men, we're so used to making that our priority is to be protecting our family that we don't give ourselves a chance to really open up and tell our side of the story and how we feel. Because we trying to handle all the stress. We try to take all of this from certain situations for them to heal and for them to, you know, found themselves. But when it's our turn to really say, hey, look, babe, look, I'm going through something mentally. I'm dealing with this or I'm dealing with that. It gets to a point that it's like, well, I'm going through this. I went through this the worst. And, you know, and then now you like, you know what? I'm done. I'm shut down because it feels like I'm trying to open up to you. But when I'm opening up to you, you're not hearing me. Now I'm at that point I can't trust. Now I can't communicate with you because I feel like I'm not valid in this marriage or this relationship. So it's hard for me to really want to open up again. You have to earn that now. Now you have to work twice, maybe 5 times as hard to get my trust again in order for me to reopen up to you. It takes a long time for a man to open up their feelings because once they open up the first time and they letting it all out, it all depends on you. If you feel like it's not valid to you or it's valid to you. If it's valid to you, you would take that and be like, you know what? We're going to work this out together. I got you because I understand that. And that's the only thing us as men want. We want to be validated. We want somebody to understand how we feel too, because that's the only way we can heal together in this marriage, in this relationship. That's the only way we can continue to grow. And like I can say, me and my wife, we both been through a lot. We both broken people. That's the reason why our relationship, our marriages continue to keep going up because we had to understand each other. We worked it out. We understood our broken situations in our past to the point that we always made it work and we still healing, but we also still learning each other too. So we communicate with each other even more. And that what makes it better. Now, for a lot of men, they probably never understood that sometimes because they feel like they by themselves. When you find somebody that you can trust, you're not alone no more. When you found somebody that actually care about your well-being, that loves you unconditionally, and they have your back 100%, you're not alone no more. It's okay to say, hey, baby, look, I'm at 1%. I'm not there. Yeah. And she can be like, you know what, baby, I got you. What you want me to do? You want me to just leave, take the kids, and I will go out for a few hours to give you your time? Because it's rare that we have that type of space. And it all depends on the person that actually understands your situation. And we need more of that.
To piggyback off Brother DeAndre, yes, I received that, but us man, we gotta start asking for what we want too. We gotta start doing that. We can't just expect anybody, not just our wives, like anybody to just know. Man, it's the same conversation that we say with women. We gotta communicate, man. We gotta talk. We gotta let it out. But we it's up to us to, man. It gets tricky, but I feel it's up to us to figure out what the issue is. Figure out the space that is okay for us to speak about the situation, and then speak about the situation. You know what I mean? Now that may seem like a daunting task for any man to do because a lot of spaces that we're in, we just can't. You know what I mean? Man, I'm soft. Man, they're gonna think I'm soft or da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? And I don't think that's always the case. So I don't know, man. For us fellas, man, my last thing in regards to this, we gotta start asking. We have to acknowledge the emotion and the energy and the feeling, and then we have to start communicating that the best way we can, so that we can come up with a resolve, so that we're not always on one side. You know what I'm saying? We gotta start bridging those gaps. You know what I mean? But for me, communication is the key, in order to do that. So that's my final thoughts on that. Yeah. I know you gotta go.
No, you're good. I definitely agree with that. And like it's already been said, the transparency and honesty is so greatly appreciated from the both of you guys. Like, it's some things, like I told y'all, I'm a high five my future husband. There's some things that I'm learning that I know that I can apply when that happens. I need to ask him what he needs and stuff like that. So it's helping me out in a whole lot of ways. But definitely also making sure that as raising a young Black male, to definitely things I knew and considered that I need to consider some more. I do want to touch base on the fact that the overwhelming comment was communication. And Theo had mentioned, like, we gotta figure this out and what we're gonna do. Do you guys feel like, or have implemented in some way on this last thought, therapy in that? Because I do agree, two willing people who have experienced things can definitely heal and grow. But both of y'all toolbox be rusty. So are you reaching out to outside interventions to assist with that? Because therapy definitely is key. As someone in mental health, but that's me.
Yeah. Well, I go to counseling. I go to a lot of. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. It's been helping out a lot. Counseling does help a lot because you get the chance to express your real feelings and tend to like just vent, and they wouldn't listen. And I got a really good counselor too, by the way, because he actually is a real dude, and it feels good to relate to people that actually understand you, and they help. And like most, and on top of that, sometimes the person that's close to you can be your best counselor as well. But other than that, yeah, I get a lot of counseling, and I love it. It works. It's beneficial. So any guy, any man that's going through something, get counseling immediately. Therapy, please go to somebody that you can actually go to. If you can't trust nobody around you, trust them. They got
that
you.
part. I just love that you said that, because I think sometimes we shy away from therapy and we be like, oh, I got my homeboy. Your homeboy ain't got the tools either. His tools rusty, clearly. Okay. So you gonna have to just chunk it up a little bit. And sometimes it's just best to have someone who's outside of your circumstance, who is equipped to give you either some advice, some suggestions, or like you said, just listen. And I say this all the time because this is my plug for therapy. Baby, they can't tell your business like these streets, okay? They will go to jail.
That part.
Your secrets are safe with them, okay? So I just want to acknowledge that. I'm sorry. I appreciate you saying that, DeAndre. But go ahead, Theo.
No, it's all good. I have in the past, not lately or recently. How can I put it? I've taken the time to do my excuse me, my self-work right now. I feel that that's needed for me to. We're gonna always be changing and evolving. I mean, that's what life is about. You know what I mean? Nothing stays the same. So for me, knowing that and knowing that about myself is like, all right, let me take a step back and relearn who this new person is, who's ever changing, who's forever evolving. So that, excuse me, when I do, and again, I have nothing against therapy and counseling. I have nothing against. I'm pro counseling and therapy because it is important to have a different lens. Look at your story. You know what I mean? I think that's important so that you can gain a different perspective and a different outlook on situations. You know what I mean? So that you can continue to learn and heal at the same time. But no, I plan on making that making it happen within the next month or so. Some stuff. It's some stuff that I'm like, hey man, I got deep ducked off that I don't even like. Man, I'll deal with y'all later, bro. I don't know. I don't even know y'all, bro. Why are you here? You know what I'm saying? So, man, you messing up my whole situation right now, bro. What you want, bro? So I got to deal with them cats later. But I plan on dealing with them once I start back going to therapy for sure. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's necessary and important to seek out some form of it. If it's not just that, find something that works for you, because everything ain't for everybody. It just ain't. You know what I mean? So find something that works for you and make that your therapy if you can. It don't just have to be sitting down in front of somebody. It could be basketball. It could be anything. But us men we got to start acknowledging that, and then find a way of getting that out so that we can be better for ourselves and for our families and our communities too at the same time. So
and a healthy outlet.
Yes. I'm sorry.
No, you good. I just want to be clear about that, because somebody like, yeah, I go drink with the homeboys.
Right.
Something for the betterment.
Okay, you're doing it every weekend, maybe not even every weekend, maybe once a month.
Betterment and advancement of yourself.
Yes, I'll be out here drinking every day, and you like, yeah, this is my therapy.
Casamigos gonna get you hanging out with your amigos. You're gonna be lonely. Definitely appreciate the both of you, brothers.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Hey, it's an honor, y'all.
Fellas, thank you so much for joining us for this conversation. And I also want to say, like, acknowledging and being able to have these conversations together. I don't think we do that enough either. It's like men are on their sides and their space talking about it. Women are on their side and in their space are talking about it. We should come together and be able to talk about it. Communication is key. And one thing that I also want to acknowledge real quick, and then I'm in this, is you said something, DeAndre, that hit so hard for me that I'm trying to change personally when I'm dealing with Demetrius, is that outdoing each other in harm. Like, oh, I got it worse. So why you over there tripping about what you did or who
not
you?
Not a competition.
Yes, like we ain't hurt competition.
Right, y'all both hurt. We just need to get it together.
We both hurt. Like we both struggling in this space. Like we both need time. We both need both of these. But how can we provide that space better for each other? So I am taking that gem away from this space. Thank you all. And I think this is, even if sometimes you can't learn, you should be able to learn from your partner. But I think it's also great to just get perspectives outside of your relationships as well. So, woo! I love all this. I just love this today. Y'all probably see me out here just cheesing my little life away, because I just think this is so great for our community to see. And I appreciate you all again. If you want to provide, like, how people can tap in again, Theo, I know you said you got your hollers and hooping.
Holla if you're hooping.
Holla if you're hooping. Yeah. How do people tap in if they are interested in your group?
Oh man, I guess I need to do better with that.
Or maybe if maybe you got I don't know if you got a social media following or anything like that.
Give a flyer or something.
Yeah, follow me at Bud McFly, BUBBMCFLYY. On Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. If you want to reach out to me and want to come play some ball, man, holler at me. BUBBMCFLYY. That's my social media handle. Bud McFly.
Yes. And Mr. DeAndre, what if we got some people out there like, we need a doula dad? What's up?
Hey, if y'all, if anybody that's pregnant, you know what I'm saying, if y'all need a doula couple, doula dad, doula mama. Hey, our business is Doula the Jazzy Way. You know what I'm saying? Wifey is the founder, the boss, and I'm just part of the boss. You know what I'm saying? Half the boss.
You are part of the game. You are
right. Don't downplay yourself.
Don't downplay you. Part of that too.
Let me upplay myself then. Hey, y'all need a doula daddy and mommy. Hey, we right here, Doula the Jazzy Way. We in here. Y'all can reach us on Facebook. Well, we're getting that together, the Doula the Jazzy Way. Y'all can look it up on Facebook, Instagram. If y'all want to get in contact, from on Facebook, DeAndre L. Miller Sr. Instagram, True Virgo 690 Love LUV. And you feel me? Hey, look, get the line up. Hey, I'm always open. And on top of that, we a great couple. We goofballs. So hey, look, y'all gonna have fun with us. Oh, yeah, you hit them.
I love it. Y'all need to add. Don't make that an ad.
Right. All
right, Shante, I seen you. You got some things coming up this summer too. So what's happening with you and your comedy, girl? Let them know.
I know, right? I am coming up on my 2-year comedy anniversary. What better way to celebrate that is to also be in a competition. So June 26th, I'll be at the Helium Club. Tickets are $10. It is a competition, so you do need to be there on time to vote. So it's the St. Louis Funniest Competition. It's going to be at the Helium Club. Doors open at around 6 on June 26th. And then I got a couple other gigs coming up, but I've been booked, blessed, and busy. So just follow me on social media as always, _Shante Love 26. And you'll be able to see where you can see my funny face at.
That's what's up.
All right, y'all. And as always, you know, the Hood Talks podcast, we are still going strong until the end of July. So we got a couple of more episodes that we will be releasing next month. We got our live events that's happening on June 29th. We talking about handcuffed to the policy, talking to healthcare providers about how they give care, but how that is impacted by policies and procedures that they have to abide by. Great conversation. And then in July, the end of July, the last Saturday, I think, of July, we're talking about how the school system is still failing Black children. So that's another one I cannot wait to have. It's going to be a great time. Again, these are in person. And your girl, I'm working on it. We gonna manifest that we gonna get this audio right, y'all. We help manifesting,
sure.
to get this audio right. And I'm also actively planning, for season 5. So if there's anybody out there that's interested in sponsoring, partnering, working with us for season 5, yes, I know y'all like what? Yes, your girl is on it, and we coming back for season 5. And shout out to our girl Shante for being the co-host. Yes, we hope to get more co-hosts in the future as well. So we got segments to do, and we got conversations to continue talking about that is uplifting our community, like these dope dads here. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I hope y'all enjoy y'all Father's Day. Special shout out to the Black fathers. We love y'all and we support y'all.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, ladies. Thank y'all. Hey, all love, peace, and prosperity, y'all.
Thank y'all for having me. Thank you. Love. Thank you.
And on that note, y'all, as always, we are out. Yay! Thank you for tuning in to the Hood Talks podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page and also